What's going on, everybody? East Coast Farmer here. Just give you a little update. I decided to make the heat system in this 200-year-old farmhouse smart. So what we got here is we got a bunch of zone valves. Goes up to all the radiators. Each one will do each room individually. Actually, you probably just heard that click right there. That was one of the relays telling one of the valves to shut off. And basically what happens is, in software through Home Assistant, I have, well, it's not on this side. That relay board there, that's a spare. Not using it right now, but over here, got a bunch of Wemos D1 minis, and they get the temperature through Home Assistant, and what that'll do is that'll come over here and it will trigger. This relay right here is triggered right now, but what that'll do is, what happens is, this transformer here is 24 volts, and it comes out, goes up into that relay. That relay will close. That'll send power to one of these valves down here. And when the valve opens up all the way, inside the valves, there is an end switch. So once the valve is fully open, it closes a switch, which over here is a zone controller, and that receives an input right there. It'll see that the switches, the end switch from that is closed, so it'll turn that relay on, which will turn the circulating pump on. And over here we got this guy right here that's coming from the boiler outside, the wood boiler. Supply in there, return out there, and it does a loop right there. So these are all your return lines down on the bottom. These are all the supply lines up on the top. And it goes up, and I know this house, it's a mess down here. It's an old corn furnace that's not being used anymore. But it'll go up through the line, through the radiator, come back down, through there, come back around, and it'll mainly do a loop, but it'll keep refreshing itself with the hot water coming in from the boiler, and then the not so hot water, the return going out. So that's all the radiators right there. And I put little thermo wells right there to put 2 temperature probes in, and that goes up to, there's an ESP32 board right there that gives me the temperature readout of what's coming into the radiators and what's coming back from the radiators. And over on this end, that is the radiant floor loop right there. Little circulating pump, and it sends all the water out. And I don't know if there's a spot in here where some of the insulation has fallen down, but basically we just got lines tacked up to the floor right there, and they are hot, 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 and they'll warm the floor right up. But over here, this is where, this is our supply from the boiler. It comes in there, goes to this little sidekick right here on the water heater, and that'll heat my hot water, so I don't actually have to use the electric for that during winter. But boiler water comes in there, goes up that jacket, comes out, up, and then it goes over to the zone valves for the radiators. And when it comes back right here, and then right here, these 2 lines, these go to the radiant floor heat. And right up in there, there's a mixing valve, because you don't want to be sending 160 degree water to your radiant floor. That would get a little toasty. But over here we have another ESP32 that goes up there to give me temperatures on supplies. And all this stuff is temporary. I am not going to leave wires just twisted together hanging off a water heater. Okay, this was just to make sure everything worked. This is all going to get cleaned up, put in an enclosure, so it won't be an issue. But this ESP board right here has all these wires go out to temperature sensors up in the rooms. So that's what gives me, that guy right there gives me the temperatures. It goes to Home Assistant. Then Home Assistant has an automation that will fire these relays, and you just heard another one just fired right there. That's how I have the heat going in this farmhouse. That's how I made it smart. I'm working on automations for it, and I do realize this basement is a little bit of a mess. We got a water heater over there that's working. That water heater doesn't work. There's another gas one back there that doesn't work. We got an old corn furnace right there. That's not getting used. And back there in the darkness, that is an old boiler, probably from the 50s or 60s. So a lot of this stuff in this basement, including all the duct work and everything, it's all got to come out. Got to strap up a lot of these lines. We got, you know, this is what you get when you go into the basement of a 200, probably 250, 260-year-old farmhouse. I know it was built right before the American Revolution, so it's got some age on it. And back in there, that's the crawl space that's under the kitchen. There's a whole lot of radiant lines going in there. And you got to strap everything up. But bit by bit, I'll get this place cleaned up and bring you guys along for the ride. If any of you want to see the Home Assistant side of it, how I programmed everything up, how I got the sensors involved, I can do a whole nother video on that. So let me know. Thanks for watching, guys. East Coast Farmer. See you next time.